I've been humming "We Need a Little Christmas" right this very minute in my head for much of this Advent season. It seems we especially need a little Christmas this year. It's been rough due to the pandemic, isolation, loss, confusion, death. Some lights and decorations and parties and presents would be a welcome change. But I believe that little phrase is packed with a lot more meaning than may initially appear. "We need a little Christmas" also conveys the depths of the human longing that we've heard about in Isaiah's prophecies throughout this Advent season. It expresses the hopes and fears of all the years when Israel yearned for release from oppression and freedom from sin. It also expresses our own desire to experience life as something deep and true and good, and not just busyness or empty amusement, although there's a lot less of that, I think, this year. This year, though, even like every other year, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. We need the glad tidings that were proclaimed 2,000 years ago to burst into our reality today. We're living in a tough time, and so much of our lives can feel distant from God, disconnected from our spiritual grounding. We can know sadness and suffering and loss. What's more, we are beset on all sides by very persuasive advertising messages that promise us happiness and fulfillment if only we acquire diamond earrings, a flashy new car, the latest electronic gadgets or games, or a hoped-for toy. Or we are told that we will finally feel fulfilled if we find the right partner for life, earn that promotion, or have our team win the championship. And as wonderful as those things are, for God created them, and He said it is good, they're still not God. And there's no way that they'll ever fill up the emptiness of our hearts that only an authentic relationship with God can do. When we have God in our hearts, all things suddenly are seen in a different light. They can be even wonderful in the midst of a pandemic. So how do we experience a little Christmas right this very minute? I would suggest 3 simple steps. The first step is simply to be aware of our desire and honor it. Bless it. Sure, we may be focusing our wanting on some transient, tangible object or outcome in a misguided way, but if we trace that back to its origin, we will find that what we really want is God. And so the yearning of the human heart is good. In fact, it is a gift from God. He was the one that planted that yearning within our hearts. We just need to think about this for a minute. Without their yearning, the shepherds would never have looked up to the sky and noticed the angels announcing the arrival of the Christ child. Without their deep longing, the Magi would never have wandered so far from home following a star. Without her own longing to be pleasing to God, Mary would never have said yes to the angelic message and become the mother of God. Our longing can be the impetus to move us from where we are now to where we most want to be, closer to our true selves and to the God who loves us. The second step is to trust the message of Christmas, that there is a light that will not be overcome by darkness, hope that will not be extinguished, a voice that awakens our hearts, a source of forgiveness stronger than our sin, and a joy that will not cease. Against all evidence to the contrary, we have to trust the message of the infant in the manger, that everything we truly need has already been prepared for us. We need to allow that message to sink in. Finally, this third step is to share the Christmas message tangibly with others by showing kindness and by our generosity. There are so many people in need this year. There are endless ways for us to show our generosity. We could also think of it in this way. Simply do the next kind thing in front of us. Surely today and in all the days to come, there'll be no shortage of opportunities. Kindness is powerful, it illuminates, it transforms a harsh, cold environment with warmth and love. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute and every minute. And we have it as we gather around the table of the Christ child, ready to receive the first and greatest gift of all, Christ himself. And then at the Eucharist, poured out in love in his body and blood. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful little Christmas.